the freedom of not knowing, which really is one of my most favorite topics. Yeah, I used to, when I first started holding meetings like this in person, obviously, because when I first started, it was over 20 years ago, and there was not so much online going on at that time. So I used to call these meetings Meeting in Not Knowing. And my first website was called notknowing.com. And so this just shows how much I love speaking about not knowing. Yeah. Because really, when I was growing up, I really felt the contradiction between what everyone seemed to be assuming and talking about, this trying to know, thinking that they know, and also putting knowing up on a pedestal somehow, putting the thinking, the understanding so high as if that was the ultimate knowledge and wisdom. And then in contrast to that, my own experience and knowing that I don't know. And this wasn't just that I was stupid or didn't know the information or the mental knowledge. I could use my mind in the way that everybody else could do that as well, but it just felt so superficial and limited. It felt like it was just dancing on the surface, never really getting to the truth of the matter, the truth of life. And that truth, I could say that it is that all that we think that we know is a play, a dance of energy, of mental energy, concepts, explanations, understandings, information. We have brilliant minds that can store all this information. It's like a library. Anytime you want to read a book about a particular subject, you just have to go and look in the library and you find that book and you can read it. It's amazing. But the mind can never know the truth of who we are, the truth of life, the nature of life. That is only known when the mind lays down its whole library and it says, I don't know. I can't know that. And in that space of not knowing, of this bowing down of the mind, there is true knowing that has nothing to do with me thinking I know anything. It is the truth of who I am that is known in a totally different way. Even these words can't really express that. Although they are coming out of not knowing. As I speak, I don't know anything. And yet these words come out of true knowing. So the mind can never grasp that. And in not knowing and not getting it, not understanding it, it can be very uncomfortable for the mind. The mind wants to know. It wants to feel safe in thinking I know, that I have somewhere to land, something to grasp hold of, an explanation for it all, a reference point, a conclusion, a comparison so that I can know myself in comparison to the other. The mind is searching for safety, which is its job. It's not doing anything wrong. But it is about seeing the nature of the mind, the nature of the thinking, that that's what it does, so that we don't believe every thought to be the truth, ultimate truth. We see it for what it is. It is endlessly searching for safety so that these humans can come to some kind of sense of rest in this temporary life, in this apparent world that we live in time and space, in this dance. But at the same time, the truth of who we are is always going to be beyond that, known always, even when you think that you don't know. The mind can say, I don't understand these concepts. I don't understand what she's talking about. And yet, it is always known. You know right now. You can't not know because it's who you are. You may not know how to grasp that. And that's beautiful because it can't be grasped. And that can feel frustrating for the mind, that it can't actually grasp hold of this kind of knowing. But if it could grasp it, it wouldn't be so alive, so free. Because there is a great freedom in not knowing. Even though when we acknowledge that we don't know, when the mind bows down and says, I don't know, there can be all kinds of uncomfortable feelings there to be felt. We start to feel very vulnerable, very naked, because all the thinking I know or trying to know has acted like a protection so that we don't have to feel all this vulnerability. But as we feel whatever is here, that is coming and going and changing moment to moment, and still not know what it means, not know why it's here, not know who is here, who it belongs to, where it's going, what the point of any of it is. We just don't know. And yet we feel. We meet whatever is here. We feel, we experience, we see, we meet the other. And it's all happening in who we are, which is absolute freedom. Meeting the sensations, meeting feelings, meeting the experience of all the senses, the interactions with the other, the connections, all happening in and as who I am. There is such openness in not knowing and not thinking I know. It's unprotected and can be scary. And yet, it is what we most deeply long for, to rest in absolute presence, in meeting ourselves, finally coming home to who we are as life itself, freedom itself, presence, absolute knowing in not knowing.